This is the true story of a lady, Marianne Bachmeier, who shot and killed the rapist and murderer of her daughter, Anna. Marianne was born in a small town in Germany and had a difficult childhood with an alcoholic father who often lost his temper on her. Her parents divorced and she shifted in with her mother and stepfather. She was perceived as a troubled adolescent, and her stepfather was quite dictatorial. There were differences between the two of them that resulted in her mother kicking her out of their house. At the age of 16, she had her first child that she put up for adoption, and at the age of 18 again she was pregnant. However, shortly before her delivery she was raped. This obviously impacted her greatly, resulting in her putting her second child up for adoption as well. At the age of 22, she was working at a pub and started dating the manager. She became pregnant a third time and this time decided to keep the child and raise her by herself. Anna, her third child, was born and she worked hard on making ends meet to take care of her. Often Marianne would take Anna to the pub where she worked, as she did not have anyone at home to take care of Anna. Anna obviously had a difficult childhood and had to start taking care of herself at a very tender age. On May 5, 1980, Anna had an argument with Marianne, and as a result of that decided to skip school. The same day, she was abducted by a man named Klaus Grabowski, a butcher, who had lured her into his house to play with his cats. He held Anna at his home for several hours, raped her, and then strangled her with his fiancée's tights. He then packed this child's body in a box and placed it at the shore of a canal. Grabowski's fiancée turned him over to the police the very next day, wherein they realized that he was a repeat sex offender who had previously been sentenced for the sexual abuse of two other girls. He was sick to such an extent that he had undergone chemical castration in 1976 to stop him from getting these urges. However, this monster later got hormone treatment done to reverse the process. The trial had just begun on May 6, 1981. The third day of the trial, around 10 a.m., Bachmeier smuggled a Beretta 70 into the courtroom of Lübeck district and fatally shot Grabowski. She aimed the gun at him at his back and fired 7 times. 6 shots hit Grabowski, who was killed almost instantly. Bachmeier then lowered her gun and was apprehended without resistance. On 2 November 1982, Bachmeier was initially charged in court with murder. Later, the prosecution dropped the murder charge. After 28 days of negotiations, the board agreed on the verdict. She was convicted on 2 March 1983 by the Circuit Court Chamber of the District Court of Lübeck for manslaughter and unlawful possession of a firearm. The defense's argument that the act was not premeditated was mostly upheld by the court. She was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but was released after serving 3. After getting back, Bachmeier restarted her life. She married a teacher in 1985. 3 years later, they moved to Lagos in Nigeria and lived in a German camp where her husband taught a German school. They divorced in 1990. After relocating to Sicily, Bachmeier was employed as an aide in a hospice in Palermo. She was later diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in Sicily and then returned to Germany. On 17 September 1996, Bachmeier died at the age of 46 from pancreatic cancer in a hospital in Lübeck. She is buried next to her daughter Anna in Bergter Cemetery, Lübeck.